Tried to slap that look right off my face, but I'm still grinning. And the money ain't run out yet, so I do believe I'm winning. For all the mess I was, am and will be continuing, and the fun is only beginning. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Hello and welcome to Don't Bury the Lead. We recap WWE Smackdown every Friday night or every Saturday night. My name's John Zadell. I'm joined by Dom Scarcella. Dom, go ahead and tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Since last we live streamed, you celebrated a birthday, and Don't Bury the Lead celebrated a birthday. I wonder if the October 3rd episode of SmackDown continues that celebratory mood. So without further ado, John, happy birthday to us. Don't bury the lead. What's our top story tonight?
Dom, we don't ever bury the lead. And the lead is obviously 3 years of this channel, or rather 2 full years of this channel existing, entering into the 3rd year.
Drink 4.
Oh my, wait, you're right. It's 3 years of the channel existing, entering the 4th year. So 3 full years of Don't Bury the Lead.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Fixer, morning to you. Appreciate you hopping on as always.
Yeah.
It's been a fun ride, Dom. You know, I was thinking about it, before the show, before we started here, and we went live. I'll tell the story. I messaged you through Messenger and said, "Hey, like let's do like an AEW pay-per-view and go after that." And you're like, "I don't really watch any of it." I was like, I haven't really watched anything outside of AEW. And you're like, "I get WWE for free." Or, like Friday Night SmackDown. So I'm like, "Oh, hell yeah, let's just do SmackDown." And we've been doing it ever since for 3 years. And, we first 6 months, I think maybe it was me, you, and whatever person that I grabbed to say, "Hey, watch this," they would watch it. And sometimes you'd post on your Facebook and we'd get a total of 4 views.
Yes.
Views were low. And then, as we started to become a little bit more YouTube savvy, if you will, started to make those smaller clips, started to get a better synergy of our conversations too. We didn't even have these backgrounds, the lead, the follow.
Yeah.
We were just talking sometimes, so
We have evolved.
We've evolved a lot here.
We have grown. We have done so much. And to be fair, so has WWE. And it seems like we've been doing this forever, for as many changes that have happened to WWE. And maybe that's a teaser for later in Cheap Heat, when we start talking about stuff outside of this program that we watch tonight. But I don't want to bury too much of this SmackDown program. It's it's sort of a go home-ish type of show before everybody heads over to Perth, Australia for the SmackDown Crown Jewel Raw over the 4 days of next weekend. So what do we got to talk about from this wrestling program? This Don't Bury the Lead started because you and I just wanted to watch wrestling and see if we could talk about it.
Well, I think it's the main event, Dom, that draws me in here as usual. I almost always the main event here. So we have Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. And Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed win this one, shockingly to me, honestly. And they win by Seth Rollins coming in and providing some interference. Not only the wise man, Paul Heyman. I don't know if he's still the wise man. He might be somebody else.
The Oracle.
Oh, the Oracle.
Every time he has a new client, they give him a different name. He was Brock Lesnar's advocate, Roman Reigns' wise man. He's now Seth Rollins' Oracle.
So the Oracle.
I know we need a chart to keep track of this stuff.
No, you're right. He's now the Oracle. It's been tough because a lot of the stuff's going down on Raw, so I don't watch it a lot.
Yes.
But yeah, so Seth Rollins comes in, Heyman hops in, Seth Rollins curb stomps RKO. Big man Bronson Reed goes off the top of the rope and pins Randy Orton. I thought this one was kind of a fun little main event here. I liked the swerve of them actually losing. RKO and Cody Rhodes, because you figure like that team would never lose to anyone, right? And then what do you think? What did you think of this match? And then some of the extracurricular. And there's a big schmoz at the end, but we can get into that. What do you think of the match? The extracurricular activity at the end?
Sure. This match goes a little more than 15 minutes. Great to see Paul Heyman out at the beginning of the show. They're doing a lot of stuff. You mentioned we don't see a lot of Paul Heyman anymore because he's on Raw mostly. They're doing so many crossovers recently, trying to pump up Perth and the brand versus brand matches that are going on with all of the title holders, at least the main singles title holders. So they wanted to get Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes together at some point during this program. And so having Paul Heyman there was a way to tease that, although we never saw Seth Rollins until the very end, as you mentioned. It was a surprise interference by Seth Rollins, stomping Randy Orton and getting out of the way, leading to the pinfall. I was not that surprised that Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker won this match because they've been booked strong. WWE has not booked them as lackeys. They're supposed to be in the background for Seth Rollins, but they've been booked as up-and-coming stars. They've been booked more like the way Solo Sikoa was in the Bloodline, where he had a long undefeated streak. More like the way Jimmy and Jay Uso were booked, where for a long time they kept the tag belts, and they were unbeatable. These are not Vinci and Kaiser for Gunther.
Right.
This is more like Solo and the Uso brothers for Roman. These guys are booked strong. Everybody beats the hell out of LA Knight whenever they're in a match with them. So so these guys had a good showing. You mentioned there was a post-match schmoz. As Cody Rhodes is crawling back into the ring to check on Randy Orton, he's sort of down on all fours because Randy Orton's still laid out on the mat. And Seth Rollins starts peeking over his shoulder because all of the Vision members left the ring. And Seth Rollins, he's looking at Cody like he wants to do something. And Paul Heyman is saying, and he's yelling at him, and the camera that's right on the two of them picks this up. Seth is saying to him, "He's mine." And Paul is saying, "Don't do it. He's in your head." And Seth shakes off Paul Heyman, runs into the ring for a stop, and Cody at the last instant avoids it and hits a crossroads.
Yeah.
So Cody Rhodes stands tall at the end of this match, heading into Crown Jewel. I don't know if they're going to have Cody appear on Raw this week for the Go Home Raw, but they've at least had their confrontation on SmackDown.
Yeah, they're going to do like a little bit, like to have the story make any sort of sense, right?
Yep.
They just have him randomly get attacked. Okay.
These guys have a long history, though. Seth Rollins was the guy who reintroduced Cody Rhodes back into the WWE, right? He put him over right away.
Yeah, they've
Seth
got
Rollins
history.
for a top star puts people over.
So,
and
I did want to go back to one of your points. I wanted to totally agree with you. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed looked strong out there against them, and they looked formidable. And it seems like a team they're building that's legit. They feel a little bit less like lackeys, how I kind of interpreted them before. During this match, I was like, no, they're putting them over. They're strong, and they're doing a lot of stuff I like. The Braun Breaker clothesline was crazy when he goes off the ropes, and then just clotheslines Cody and flips him over. That's actually a great job by Cody, quite frankly, to get that move to look good.
Yes.
But that was really cool. And then, good selling to the crowd by Braun Breaker too. He was yelling, Cody Rhodes, how they sing his song. He started singing back to them. Oh, Cody Rhodes. Like he started singing back to them. So I was like, that's good. That's some good, you're acting like Uncle Scott Steiner. That's where your head's at when you know how to be a jerk. You're just like your uncle. Yeah, so I liked that they look strong, and it's interesting because I feel like there's, like you mentioned LA Knight, but I always feel like there's like bad heel tag teams, like Solo Sokoa and whoever, like that the Bloodline 2.0, like they just kept losing and losing and losing and losing, and I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa, we got a real powerhouse, badass tag team.
Yep.
You don't see those often.
No, and they haven't really put them into the tag team division much yet.
Mm-mm.
But like you could see them making a title run at some point if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, in the opening segment of the show, Paul Heyman referred to them as the Bronze, which we have been doing for weeks, perhaps months.
Wow, you have
The
called them the
Bronze.
Bronze. Yes.
They are watching us. They are watching Don't Bury the Lead.
Yeah, it's so funny because I assumed that was a name you made up for them.
Yes.
Yeah, because
It's
it would
Braun
be.
and Bronson and Braun. These are the Bronze.
But now Heyman's calling in the Bronze. Oh my
Yes.
God.
If they go back to Paris, I'm calling them Lebrons.
Yeah, I might have to make a short video about this and just show because we have the dates,
Yeah.
and be like WWE stole our name, and I'll just take the dates, and then you're calling them the Bronze, and then Paul. Oh, I'm doing that. That's official. I'm making that video because it's got the date. Thank goodness at the bottom here, and it's going to have you say, the Bronze.
Yeah.
And that's what you call them. And you've been saying it for a while. How long back have you mentioned it? It wasn't like last week or something.
It's probably because I got tired of in my notes, just as I'm taking them, writing out their full names. Like, yeah, the Bronze come out to interfere.
And
the
whenever
Bronze beat LA Knight, whatever.
it's funny because whenever you say it too, I always think of LeBron James then.
Yes.
Bronny.
The Bronze. Yep.
Yeah. So that's really funny. That's an amazing call. And I have to make a short video. That's a birthday present. A Don't Bury the Lead birthday present is us saying,
there
hey,
you go.
We said it first.
So you mentioned these guys looking good. Braun Breaker, just the speed that he hits that lariat with, and some of his other moves, like he's got that. He does the same thing when he does the spear, sometimes bouncing off the ropes. Bronson Reed, Randy Orton, finally gets a hot tag more than 10 minutes into this match. The heels have done a great job of keeping Cody Rhodes in the match for several minutes during his interval there. Randy enters on a hot tag, does the snap power slam on Braun Breaker, but he's able to make the tag to Bronson Reed. Randy does the snap power slam on Bronson Reed, but when he tries to follow it up, Reed lifts him up into that Death Valley driver. And he climbed the turnbuckles, but Randy met him there and hit a second turn superplex on him, but the pin was broken up by Braun Breaker. So a really good sequence where you've got this 14-time champion Randy Orton, who now looks bigger than ever during any of his championship runs, who still has that aura about him. And these younger guys are going toe-to-toe with him. Like, no one guy is getting the clear advantage. Randy's hitting his power move, but he takes a little too long. Bronson Reed recovers, hits his move. Bronson Reed takes a little too long getting up the turnbuckles. Randy hits him. Braun Breaker jumps back in to break up the pinfall. So this was presented as a very even competition throughout. And I like that. I like that nobody here was buried and that Seth Rollins was the guy who turned the match. So it served a lot of purposes. I thought the match was great, even without the Seth Rollins interference. Like, let's say Randy Orton hits the RKO and, they wind up winning. You wouldn't say to yourself, oh, the Bronze looked real stupid. This match went 15 and a half minutes at least. And everybody looked good.
Yeah, everyone did. This was a good match for everyone. And yeah, I don't have much more. Oh, I do have one more thing I'd like to mention. And because it's our 3-year anniversary, I'm going to go ahead and say I have said this at least 100 times probably on this show, but the 10 punches, people love counting.
Absolutely.
And you made a great article, but I won't mention it. But yeah, people love counting.
Yes.
And Yeah, so our next video, and because people love numbers so much, I made sure to include a number in the title. 3 reasons why. So look out for that, folks. There's a video coming on Kevin Owens being called Kevin Steen, or
Oh,
playing Kevin Steen, and we use a little bit of number play in there. But
yes, but he doing his old. We did cover that a couple weeks ago. That when he's does stuff outside of WWE, he uses his real name, which was also his indie wrestler name
if
for a
you're
long time.
if you're a member of the channel, you can watch it, or you can wait till it debuts on Monday.
Ooh, all right.
I've
So,
got a couple chats here from the Fixer.
excellent. Good
Uh,
morning, Fixer. Over
here,
there across the pond. You are ahead of us. The Fixer, you are in the future.
mhm. So
The
Fixer says
bronze with a Z. Oh, especially because Braun Breaker looked like he had that spray tan for a while.
the
Were you just
bronze.
calling Braun Breaker bronze like there with the color? Or did you also call Bronson Reed that? Bronson Reed's from, I think, Australia.
Mhm,
So he should have some fun in Perth next
mhm.
week.
And then there's another good one here. Um, says negative. Every heel has become insanely good preventing a tag. It's becoming uniformal, like like standard that they run.
Yes, like the heels are. I don't mind if the heels actually have some chemistry and some history with each other that they wrestle like a good tag team.
Hmm.
That's the one good thing about Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker being in this stable together for a long time and tagging for a while. That now when they get in a tag team, we're like, yeah, it makes sense that these guys have good chemistry. They're a well-oiled machine in there.
And then I wanted to show one more. This is kind of a side topic, but it actually probably pertains to this. Seth versus Cody. I feel like Cody will win Crown Jewel. I don't know if they'll let the heel win it.
It's if Seth wins it, then remember Cody won last time against Gunther.
Mm-hmm.
So does Cody win 2 years in a row? I'm not sure.
It's weird because it feels like Seth needs that win more than Cody does.
Right?
Because Cody's just
Especially since Seth has backup.
yeah,
That'd
and
be
Seth,
easy to book.
yeah, Seth has the backup, and then in addition to that, like, you know, maybe he could set up something with, you know, maybe Punk. I wonder if Punk will be there and help out or something like that.
Ah.
And then who knows what they can do with that. But ultimately, we'll have to see who wins. I really don't know. I think that one's actually a little bit more open because when it was Cody versus Gunther, I'm like, oh, Cody's gonna win because they're just not gonna make him lose yet. But he's just, I don't think he has so much to lose because it's not his. This is his second run.
It is his second run, and like Gunther was still an up and comer at that point. He was on his
Yeah.
first title reign.
Mm-hmm. His
Seth Rollins has been around forever, and he's a legend.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Seth does need it, but I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't. I. It could go either way. Um. Okay, so having said that,
Is it time for the follows or anything else you want to cover more about this main event segment?
Dom, I don't have anything else to cover. We're late here on a Saturday night.
We are.
Let's move on into the follow.
Okay.
Kind of struggling here with the chat. Hang on. Oh, there we go. It almost had me block Fixer, so I was trying
Oh
to.
no.
I was don't block him. Oh my god.
No, don't hit them wrong mouse buttons there.
Yeah, we by far our best contributor to the show. We can go to another match here.
Sure.
Let's see here. Let's see.
We could go to what's becoming my favorite segment. It's the Sami Zayn match of the night.
The opener, yeah, Sami Zayn versus Carmelo Hayes. Oh wait, not Carmelo Hayes. It turned into Aleister Black.
Yes.
So Sami Zayn versus Aleister Black. Sami Zayn picks up the win after a little bit of interference from Damian Priest, which I thought was interesting that Sami just wouldn't go over clean, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so this is a pretty good one. Dom, what did you think of this match?
This was a great match that I didn't know who would win because, as popular and as accomplished as Sami Zayn is, he's never been a world champion. And Aleister Black just beat a former world champion in Damian Priest.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see Aleister Black getting the U.S. title. However, it's been too much fun having Sami Zayn on it. So when Damian Priest came out, just to be a distraction, he didn't physically interfere in the match, but it was the kind of thing where Aleister Black was in the corner, looked like he was setting up Sami, waiting for Sami to stagger into position for that spinning heel kick of his. And he sees Damian Priest approach from the announce table side.
Mm-hmm.
And he turns to look at Damian Priest, and as he does that, he's now got his back to the middle of the ring. And as he spins back around to face Sami Zayn, Sami is recovered and is charging at him for the haluva kick. After the haluva kick, Sami picks him up into the Blue Thunder Bomb, which is that sit-out power bomb of his, and he pins him 1, 2, 3. I like Sami Zayn's new order of his finishing moves. It's not Blue Thunder Bomb early, people kick out, and then at some point he gets the haluva kick after the exploder suplex in the corner. I like that now Sami's able to hit the haluva kick as a surprise onto people if they're just quite not paying attention, and then does the Blue Thunder Bomb as the finisher.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that match. I like how it ended. I thought the Aleister Black, Damian Priest stuff was over. Apparently they think it has at least one more chapter. I'm fine with that. It gives Damian Priest something to do. It gives Aleister Black something to do. It's the kind of feud that doesn't require a belt, and it keeps the belt on Sami Zayn so he can keep doing fun stuff like this every week.
Yeah.
What say you? I don't have anything bad to say about this match.
I love the Oklahoma roll by Aleister Black. That's where the guy's on all fours and you leap over him and you kind of cradle him up after you leap over him. I just like that move a lot. It reminds me so much of, amateur high school folk style wrestling. So I like that move a lot because it's directly from that, the Oklahoma roll. And then,
did you know Aleister Black could do stuff like that? He's always billed as this martial artist striker.
That's
he's
why
like Nakamura, just,
That's why I liked it. I was like, oh, cool. He's doing some mat stuff, which he needs to build upon, right? Because he's always doing the striking. And he's a good striker, though, so it's effective for him. The springboard moonsault, that was cool, too, that he did, like, right off the apron, or right off the Irish whip. He did a springboard moonsault. So I thought that looked really good. Sami, as always, is great, and I do want to say one thing. This might be a little controversial. I did notice that they changed Sami Zayn's gear, and they changed his entrance. So when he comes out now, there's more red, white, and blue when he comes out. And his gear was Palestinian flags, and now it just says Sami Zayn in the Palestinian colors, but before it was more like the flag. So they toned down the Palestine thing, upped the USA thing because he's the US champ.
Okay.
Those were observations I had made.
All right.
And I don't want to get too controversial, but
no, those are good observations to make. Color schemes and things, I guess it's easy to call anybody who's the US champ and to use red and blue prominently, and white can always be involved. I did notice that Sami kind of looks a little cleaned up. They have his hair back a little bit.
Yeah.
He ties it so he doesn't look as scraggly. He doesn't look like, somebody just woke up from a 20-year nap out in the mountains somewhere. He doesn't look like his friend Kevin Steen in front of his Godzilla mural.
He doesn't look like that. And also, he needed to clean up a little bit. It was just a little, for him to be a long champ, it's just a little too sloppy, right?
Yep.
But that's also why I like Sami Zayn, so I don't know. But yeah, they Americanized him a little bit, It is TKO's company still, right? So they're probably like,
hey, they Americanized Chelsea Green. She's from Canada.
This is true. They made her like this crazy American person.
I wonder if Sami Zayn will have a secret Hevis.
Well, we can go to speaking of Chelsea Green, do you want to go there next?
We could go right there. Chelsea Green and Alba Fire versus call-ups from NXT. I don't know if they'll be on the main roster regularly, but it was good to see Sol Ruka and Zarya from NXT. They look like quite tall for women. Zarya especially very muscular. Both of them look like great athletes. This match had a lot of action in it. It only went 4 minutes.
Wow, really?
I am consistently surprised by how short some of Chelsea Green's matches are, because as I'm not the first to say this, unlike the Bronze, Chelsea Green makes the most of every second she's on TV. Yes. And she's kind of teaching that to Alba Fire now. It's been really good for Alba Fire.
Yes.
As it was for Piper Niven before her. So neat match in 4 minutes. Sol Ruka slides out of an unpretty her, shoves Chelsea Green into the corner. Chelsea Green bounces out of the corner, and Sol Ruka hits this front flipping cutter off of the second turnbuckle, which I've never seen before. I think they called it the Skull Snatcher or the Soul Snatcher.
Yeah.
I don't know, but she gets the pinfall out of the match, goes barely 4 minutes, barely under there. Lots of action in the match. I wound up not writing down a lot of notes, just that I saw great tagging and double teams by Chelsea Green and Alba Fire.
Yeah.
And so that Sol Ruka and Zarya both looked really athletic. They look like people who could be on the main roster.
I'll tell you what, I didn't take any spot notes, but I do have some high level things.
Mm-hmm.
Every time an NXT call up comes, it's a woman. She's super unique looking. She looks like she could be on the roster. She has a unique moveset. She's really good. The whole thing, every time they bring up a woman from NXT, anytime they bring up a man from NXT, he looks like every other guy. He's got the same damn moveset as every one of those guys that come up. They got no charisma, total nobodies, total nothings. The best NXT call-up I can even think of is who did the talk show?
Oh, Grayson Waller.
He's like the best one that came up. I mean, honestly, and that's an insult. But every woman that comes up, they come up. Tiffany Stratton comes up, great. Give her the belt. She's been a solid champ. They gave what's her name the belt now too.
Stephanie Vaquer got it. Roxanne Perez has been a great call up on Raw as well.
Every woman is great. Every man is a dud. They have to get down there and say like, oh, who's training these guys? Because we need something a little better than this. They mentioned that this woman started wrestling, the blonde, in 2022. She only been wrestling for 3 years in NXT. She looked pretty good.
She did.
I call her this woman because I don't know her name.
Sol Ruka.
Yeah,
the one who got the pinfall.
And that finisher was cool. She had a unique moveset. And like I said, everyone's really bland and does the same thing. You need to be different when you come up onto the main roster. You need to stick out and be like, oh, you do this well. This is the thing you do. So she did the X Factor, which I hadn't seen since X-Pac. She did some really cool stuff in the corner, holding someone's ankles. So those two things really like she was good, and then the other girl was strong and looked unique with like the red hair and the braids, and she looked fast and strong for a woman. Like she looked like a linebacker, right?
Yes, very muscular, especially lower body.
Yeah.
Yes, Zarya looks, and they're both tall. They're formidable looking.
Yeah. Yeah, and then
good.
Fixer's got a good one here. Sol Ruka used to be a gymnast. That's correct. So that's probably
okay. There we go. Like Tiffany Stratton, like
I think Tiffany for sure. It was a gymnast.
Yep.
What did you think about Alba Fire and Chelsea Green losing this match? Do you think that was weird?
No, because apparently they could have a more of a rivalry down in NXT, since sometimes main roster talent will go down to NXT every now and then. Chelsea Green is able to stay over even if she loses a match,
Yeah.
and she's able to stay formidable looking, and Alba Fire gets that rub the same way Piper Niven did.
Mhm.
Like Piper Niven, I think has rumors are that she's got a serious neck injury,
Yeah. I
and they think her career may be over, which is unfortunate because she was doing some of her best work in
uh,
this secret Hervis role.
that's really unfortunate because
Yeah.
her career was just starting to be like, oh, she's got it's finally clicking. Like the WWE understands what to do with her. She's doing the right things. She's perfect back and forth with Chelsea. Their chemistry and everything, those little backstage segments were perfect. So it's going to be a bummer if she can't make it back. And she at least had a good run when she. Some people don't ever get a run. At least she had a good run.
Yes.
Um,
And I think to your question, I think Alba Fire is stepping into that role.
mhm.
Chelsea Green is basically paid to lose matches and embarrass herself. And yet she always turns up looking good at the end. She was the first women's US champion.
Yeah.
Pledge your allegiance to Chelsea Green.
She was the first U.S. women's. She was so far the best U.S. Champion. I'll say that of who's had it so far.
Yeah, because the other ones you really didn't remember them doing much of anything. Zelina Vega, not really. Julia, they're trying to get something going with Julia, but it's not working too well. Although they tried a little more tonight, and we may get into that. It was not technically a match, but
Yeah.
it was a big segment.
So we're
So
talking.
anything more about this action-packed 4-minute match, which included Chelsea Green screaming at the Cincinnati crowd to pledge their allegiance to her?
Dom, I think I went longer than the match on my
Yes.
my feedback, but I just wanted to get that out there about the NXT call-ups. I've noticed this trend, but
I was very close to asking if you wanted your yells at cloud graphic on the screen.
I'm sure I'll find another thing to yell at. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah, the Phillies lost, so I'm a little angry.
There you go. We've got you riled up.
I'm riled up right now. All right. How about we've
got one more match and some other non-match segments.
Alberto Fantasma. How do you say this? You always get the name right.
Los Garzas, Angel and Humberto.
Yeah, Alberto. Yeah. So
Yep.
Los Gargas. Versus.
They're kind of not putting them with Santos Escobar much anymore.
Yeah. Versus Ray Phoenix. And is this Javon Evans?
Javon Evans, yes.
From another NXT call-up.
And yes.
And Ray Phoenix and Javon Evans win this match. Really strange pairings all around. So Phoenix and Javon come together. I guess they're just friends now, and they have a match.
Yes.
What did you think?
There was
of
a
this
backstage segment they showed where Nick Aldis was talking to Javon Evans, who had wrestled Sami Zayn previously on a U.S. Championship Open Challenge, and was talking to him about how he looked good, and we think there's going to be a room for you here on SmackDown one of these days. And thank you, Mr. Aldis. And that's when there was a little controversy as Los Garzas walk into the ring like, hey, we beat these guys down in NXT. Ray Phoenix comes over, and suddenly it's a match.
Yeah.
And all four guys worked well in there. I'm going to give you some of my about 2 minutes into the match. Here are my notes. You ready? I'm going to read you this very short paragraph. Ray dives on Angel. Humberto dives on Ray. Javon recovers in the ring and dives on all three on the floor. So far, this is John's match of the year.
No. To do the dive spot and just do it over and over and over, so it even looks dumber than it already is.
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about, these NXT guys. Oh, you're going to do something unique? I'll do the dive out of the ring. It's like, no. That's what everyone does. They do it every match, and then they go to the commercial break. It's dive commercial break. Don't do it.
Yes, they went to a commercial break. Yes.
No. It's got to be the one agent that's just torturing me out there. That's like,
Yes,
oh yeah,
whoever it is.
we'll do dive commercial.
Yes.
No matter who you are, too, top billing or top dollar.
Yes.
You got
everybody.
You have to have a dive for dive commercial.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, go ahead. Sorry, Dom.
No, I like that spot. Now, later on in the match, Javon Evans, they're trying to make him out to be a high flyer, which, as you said, is what they're doing with everybody in NXT. Everybody who comes up from NXT. Fraxium, Nathan Frazier, and Axiom. They're just high flyers.
Mhm.
Smaller guys, high flyers. Carmelo Hayes, smaller guy, high flyer. Javon Evans, smaller guy, high flyer. They're all smaller guys, high flyers. But later in the match, Humberto tried to use the ropes to pin Javon, but the ref saw it and stopped the count. A little while later, Humberto is still in there, and Ray winds up hitting what they called the MMB, the Mexican Muscle Buster. As he did it, I looked at it and said, "Oh, this is some sort of power bomb driver of sorts," and it was the Samoa Joe Muscle Buster move. I'm a little bit intrigued that they referenced it as a muscle buster because I don't think, was Joe ever in NXT? He's been a TNA Impact guy and then an AEW guy. So he was in NXT long enough for them to say, okay, well, we can say muscle buster because we've said it before.
He won the NXT title. And then
okay.
He was in WWE. He was in WWE too, right?
I did not know he had a run on the main roster. No.
He wrestled Lesnar for the title and everyone wanted him to win it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, he was a top guy for a while.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean,
where
he was,
have I been?
Yeah, but the thing was, I think he got injured and then he was considering retiring. Then they called him to go down to NXT and he was like doing a lot of talking for WWE. And then he went to AEW and then won their title. So
yes, he showed he was not so injured so that it was unrecoverable.
Yeah. So
yeah, Ray hits the Mexican Muscle Buster, but right before it, Javon did this flying cutter on Angel to allow Ray to hit the Mexican Muscle Buster without interference there at the end. So like Javon Evans is athletic, but to your point, I don't know that we need another smaller wrestler who's doing the high flying stuff. I mean, the only smaller wrestler currently who does some of the high flying stuff who I enjoy is Sami Zayn, because first of all, he's not that small.
Yeah.
And he does so much other great stuff. He does some mat wrestling and he sells so much better than the high flyers who are used to just doing spot fests. So, I don't want a Sami Zayn light.
Yeah.
I don't want the roster full of Sami Zayn lights.
Yeah.
I want Sami to be Sami and I want other people to do what they do well.
I totally agree with you. Especially because I just don't care for the small guy diving, going crazy style necessarily. And that's just not it's cool if you have it and you can use it, but it's got to be more than that in the main roster.
Yep.
This guy too, I do feel like he's charismatic. He does have a ring presence, Javon. So a lot of guys come up and I'm like, I don't even remember who they were or what they look like. And then they'll come back the next week and I'm like, oh, who's this guy again? Oh, it's this guy. But I feel like he's got the charisma. And he did a good job when he did the dive to hit the camera. And that's like a goofy spot,
That was goofy. There's no way they planned that, right? I mean, the poor camera guy was just too close. He's never seen Javon Evans before. And he just was in the wrong spot.
Oh, you think it might have been a botch? Yeah, you might be right.
The camera guys, especially on the floor, have to be used to the wrestlers.
Yeah. And you know what the other thing is too? When the camera guy got hit, he kept filming. Yes. So he no-sold the dive.
but the camera's going all over the place. Like he maybe jumped back or something.
Yeah.
It's not like the camera turns off just because the guy jumps. So yeah, you're getting weird footage of shaky camera stuff. But at least that was for a good reason. Like the guy was almost dived on.
That's a good reason to shaky camera it up.
Yes.
And then this is a couple of things. Samoa Joe was
Samoa
in.
Joe. Okay, so it was almost a decade ago. I was not watching WWE then.
And then the fixer just said this too. I think they're going to turn Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah, he broke up with The Miz backstage, and that's why The Miz ambushed him on the entrance ramp when he was trying to cash in the U.S. Championship Open Challenge.
You know
So
what?
yeah, I think we're getting a Miz versus Mello.
You know what I think, Fixer? I think he needs a face turn because I don't think he's a heel. He's definitely not he don't feel like a heel. He doesn't wrestle like a heel, Carmelo Hayes. I think he's more correctly positioned as a face.
Okay.
That's my hot take. I could be wrong, but
okay. Now The Miz is doing yeoman's work on putting people over. He still is the guy who, if he gets in the ring, it's like, oh, it's The Miz. He's a star.
Yeah.
He's a former like world champion, multi-time, held every belt they have for the men, Grand Slam champion 2 times over. So like The Miz was important in putting over LA Knight a couple of years ago.
Yes, certainly.
So I could see him now being the guy who helps put over Carmelo Hayes. So good work by The Miz. And it's a great role for The Miz, who seems to have enough things happening outside of wrestling that he's not going to be wrestling every week.
Yeah.
Like this is a good role for him.
They must pay him pretty well too to do this. Like
he's still a big name.
Yeah. Like he's still a big name. He could still wrestle anywhere and anyone would pick up the phone and call him and sign him. And he's not, it doesn't seem like it's necessarily too full-time. So maybe he's got that flexibility. You know, it doesn't seem like he's always out there. So maybe they're like, hey, you can work part-time, put the guys over, we'll pay you good money. And he said, okay.
Yeah, he's doing American Gladiator now. I mean, he almost put over Shane McMahon at WrestleMania. And that went badly. That went so badly, he had an impromptu put over Snoop Dogg.
Mm-hmm. Fixer's on Priest as a heel. He thinks Carmelo is a face. He said earlier that he thinks Damian Priest feels more like a heel, not a face.
Okay, but Aleister Black doesn't feel like a face. He's not effervescent and talkative enough on the mic, and he doesn't have that Undertaker aura and cachet of experience where like people just love the guy. He's still new, and he's still like too mysterious and off-putting.
He's mysterious and off-putting. That's good.
Yeah, he's like the antisocial guy. He's like a loner. He sits in the ring and he broods while sitting cross-legged. He covers his head. He doesn't want to see people. He gets he's always brooding and he's angry at stuff.
All right, Dom. That's all the matches. Do you have anything else you want to talk about with the show with some of the segments?
Yeah, we talked about some of the backstage stuff. If you want to talk Damian Priest, they did a backstage interview where Kit Wilson in a wheelchair interrupted Damian Priest's interview, spouting something about toxic aggression and toxic masculinity. First of all, where is Elton Prince?
Yeah.
Why is Kit Wilson in a wheelchair? Especially since he very easily just stands up from the wheelchair and doesn't need the wheelchair. Is he making fun of disabled people? What's going on? And then Damian Priest pushes him back into the wheelchair. And then, like, Kit Wilson is unable to get out of the wheelchair as Damian Priest throws the wheelchair down the ramp and crashes into some equipment.
What?
And then
Really?
Damian Priest just turns around and goes back to his interview and finishes it up. As you hear just, crash in the background. So if Damian Priest is supposed to be a heel, A, he has to stop being so funny against other heels. And B, they have to get him a legitimate face to get him to turn. I don't think Aleister Black is that, and I don't think Kit Wilson is that either.
I'm not sure you can push someone in a handicapped person in a wheelchair and be like, that's babyface.
He's not handicapped.
That's the joke, right?
He stood up.
You never know, Dom. You never know. You see that
over in the thing, and then just when he got too mad, he just stood up and started poking at Damian Priest. It's like...
That's great. I wonder if the other Prince,
Elton Prince.
Elton Prince, is in Australia already.
That's a good
Promoing,
question.
you know?
Elton Prince, they were both great European members of WWE's program over there who came over to NXT and then main roster. I remember Elton Strong when he injured his shoulder and was in a wheelchair for a long time for no reason. But, there you go. More backstage segments. We mentioned that this is the time of the year where they're trying to get Raw and SmackDown stars in the same picture on the same program. So Stephanie Vaquer was here for her contract signing with Tiffany Stratton. And as the two of them in the ring, Stephanie Vaquer is out there kind of in street clothes. Tiffany Stratton is in her full wrestling gear. Tiffany Stratton looks better than ever. Her muscle definition is better than it's ever been. So she's putting in the time in the gym and with the physical stuff.
She looks like
I wish some of her matches were up to that level as well. I mean, for me, watching them in the ring together, just standing there doing their contract signing, there wasn't much banter back and forth. Stephanie Vaquer still has limited English, and Tiffany Stratton just isn't a great promo yet. But I'm sitting there watching this. I'm going, what a contrast. Stephanie Vaquer just got her belt by wrestling the match of WrestlePalooza against Io Sky while she was sick and almost couldn't compete. So like if she did that reports are that she was sick. That's why she wasn't even on Raw for the previous week.
Mm.
So like she wrestled this great match with Io Sky to get her belt. And most recently, Tiffany Stratton was involved in a botch fest of a triple threat match that just did not look good for anybody who was involved, including the referee. And I don't know what's going to happen at this Crown Jewel matchup between the two of them. However, after nothing happened between Tiffany Stratton and Stephanie Vaquer, I wrote down in my notes, weirdly uneventful until Tiffany leaves the ring and gets ambushed from behind by Julia and Kiana James.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's this weird proposal in the ring by Kiana saying that she can make Stephanie Vaquer the Crown Jewel champion. Well, so can Stephanie Vaquer. She's in the match already. She's the champion. And then Tiffany recovers enough to drag Kiana from the ring. Julia then goes after Stephanie Vaquer, but Stephanie gets the advantage. Julia bails, and Tiffany Stratton and Stephanie Vaquer, the two rivals that they're trying to set up for next week, are now standing tall together in the ring, and they're tagging together on the next SmackDown.
Crazy.
I don't get it.
Yeah, it was a very weird segment, and I kept I rewound to try to figure out what I missed because I was so confused, and I was like, what is this? Because I hit rewind.
None of this makes sense.
Play, and I was like, who is this person? Why is the U.S. champ out? And why did nothing happen during the stupid contract signing? And also, the contract signings always suck. They just got to get rid of them, you know, unless they're really well done. But like, I don't know. I just felt like it was a waste of a segment, and it was really confusing.
The last contract signing I enjoyed was the contract signing for Roman Reigns and LA Knight.
Yes.
Whatever that pay-per-view was, because Roman Reigns' music hit first, and he was slow walking it to the ring, soaking in everything. And suddenly, as he's halfway down the ramp, LA Knight's music hits, and LA Knight just walks right past him, shoulder bumps him, and gets in the ring first. And I'm like, yes, I like that. That's comedy gold. I like that. It's the last real contract signing that I remember.
I just popped another one up from Fixer. I'm not sure who wins between Stephanie Vaquer and Tiffany Stratton at Crown Jewel.
I mean, some of it was that she was in the ring with Io Sky, but I can't imagine Tiffany Stratton having a 20-minute match with somebody and me going, yeah, match of the program.
Okay. Anything else from the show, Dom?
I think that's it. I think we hit all of it, including the stuff backstage. Maybe it's drive time. Is it time for us to put a bow on this? This is the unofficial go home show for SmackDown because Premium Live Event Eve is always a weird show.
It is.
So this is really the give it time to breathe, go home show. So
All right.
it's drive time, it's thumb drive. It's where you and I are going to take all this data and we're going to compress it into this small unit, this thumb that goes up or it goes down. There are no ties. There are also no number grades, no letter grades, and no star ratings. You are taking this course. SmackDown, pass or fail.
Dom, we're not Dave Meltzer. We don't do 7 stars at the Tokyo Dome. We don't do 2 stars at TD Bank Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. No, no, no. We don't do stars. We're not Dave Meltzer. We say, was the show good or was the show bad? Okay, are you ready?
I am ready, my friend.
3, 2, 1. Oh, Dom, why'd you give this show a thumbs up?
Some weird stuff that was confusing and I could do without it, but if they're going to have weird stuff, but there's a lot of good wrestling on the show, that redeems it. For a 2-hour show, I saw a lot of good wrestling. It's great having Sami Zayn back on the program. That's always one good match you're guaranteed for, unless they really screw that up and DQs and run-ins all over the place. So we got a Sami Zayn match. We got a good long main event that went a long time before the interference, and everybody looked good in it. Chelsea Green, even if it's only a 4-minute match, always looks good. The NXT call-ups looked good as well. Alba Fire's settling into her role, and even Javon Evans. He's athletic. I'll deal with it for 9 minutes that these guys all look the same.
Yeah, Dom, I'll tell you what. Sami Zayn has a match in the beginning. It's pretty much safe. It's going to be a thumbs up, right? Because that
Right.
match is going to be good. But we also had some other good stuff in there too. We see some NXT guys that I don't get to see, or people that I don't get to see. Happy to see Ray Phoenix get a win. He really needed a win. He just needs to get a win and get rolling. He's too good of a wrestler to kind of be where he's positioned right now.
Okay.
And then the main event was a lot of fun. I'm glad that they have the Bronze looking strong and that they named them the Bronze. So easy enough. Outside of the one goofball contract signing segment, guess what? I fast forward through it and watched the rest of the show, and it was good.
I
Okay.
tell you what, the contract signing shows more than anything that there is no competition for Julia for the Women's U.S. Championship.
Yeah. Right.
There is no program that she's involved in that they're basically just bringing her out to interfere in the world title contract signing. And
Yeah.
it's the most interesting thing she's been involved in since she got the belt.
I don't know anything she's really done with it either. So it's like she hasn't even been really on TV either. They're just like hiding it for some reason.
I don't know what she apparently is a very good wrestler, but they don't have something for her to do. It's
Crazy.
too bad. It's too bad.
All right.
I see the segment background change there. Yes, it is tonight, Saturday, October 4th. And we've got stuff to discuss that goes beyond this one wonderful program that we watched this week.
Dom, this next segment is Cheap Heat. Cheap Heat is where we talk about WWE, AEW, and other trending topics in the wrestling world. This is more or less our bread and butter for our YouTube channel. If you're watching us on Twitch, go over to YouTube, subscribe. If you're watching us on YouTube right now, subscribe. It helps our small channel out so much. We have 1,180 subscribers. Do you want to be 1,181?
Hey,
You could be. I see there's some people on here. So if you could, go ahead, subscribe, do all the things. But here's what we do. We talk about the trending topics, and typically what we do is we cut these down into smaller clips and send them out on the YouTube channel. But you're getting the full thing here today. So, Dom, so I don't bury the lead here, can you let us know what's our first story of Cheap Heat?
Well, if you've been trying to keep track of all the lawsuits that WWE and or Vince McMahon are involved in, this is not the one where he allegedly screwed his employee. This is the one where he may have allegedly screwed all the shareholders. So John Laurinaitis is being deposed in the shareholder lawsuit against WWE. There have been allegations made that Vince McMahon, subpoenas have been served to several people, including former WWE executive John Laurinaitis, who's not a defendant in this. The problem is that people are saying that Vince McMahon, when he came back to negotiate the big sale of WWE to what is now TKO Holdings, was in it just for himself. That he did not get the best deal possible for the shareholders because he was more concerned with selling to a buyer who would keep him on board as an executive, which TKO did for a little while before they tried to keep him on the board as a chairman before more of the allegations came out about impropriety with former WWE employees. So,
Wow.
yes, this is a shareholder lawsuit that Vince McMahon, I think the term is fiduciary responsibility, that when you have this role in a publicly traded company, you are supposed to maximize shareholder value when it comes to things like potential sales of the company. And if it turns out that Vince McMahon said no to a better offer monetarily because he wanted to go with the ones who would keep him on the board, then maybe the shareholders have a case there. It's interesting that they're bringing in former WWE executives like John Laurinaitis. Perhaps people like Nick Khan and Paul Levesque will soon be deposed as well. Executives and board members George Barrios and Michelle Wilson, McMahon's personal assistants, have from that time have also been subpoenaed for documents.
Wow.
Liberty Media has also been deposed. So I don't know if this, in some ways, this is what a lot of these shareholder lawsuits turn into, is they name as many people as possible and see what sticks.
Yeah, it's a big
But
schmoz, huh?
but the fact that there's even a question as to like, because this looked like a great deal for WWE stockholders.
Initially, yeah, but if you do remember, there were other people involved with it. Specifically, the Saudis wanted to buy WWE.
Oh boy.
So I mean, maybe the Saudi. I remember rumors that the Saudis had the highest offer. So maybe they could even argue you should have sold it to the Saudis instead of saving yourself, because TKO would keep you on the board as as the guy running it. When the Saudis probably wanted to buy it and say, "Yeah, we're going to do whatever we want with it." So,
frankly, if that news comes out, I think the shareholders filing the lawsuit, they suddenly go from babyface to heel.
right?
Like, no, you should have sold everything completely to the Saudis.
Should have sold it to the Saudis. Yeah, they that would not be good.
No, you should not have kept it as a publicly traded U.S.-based company with another popular U.S.-based property in UFC. No, you should have totally sold it to the Saudi Arabia, the House of Saud, or to an investor connected to them, where it would be just this private foreign company now. I don't know that you could turn face by saying, yes, you should have sold to the Saudis. Well, it didn't work for the golfers. It's kind of iffy with the comedians right now out at the Riyadh Comedy Festival.
It's more than
like
iffy.
Dave Chappelle and Bill Burr and whatnot. It's been a little iffy for the WWE, frankly, going over to Saudi Arabia twice a year for premium live events. So it's not smooth sailing. I don't know. I mean, legally, they have grounds to file a lawsuit, but I don't know how much the court of public opinion would be on their side, if that makes any sense.
And really,
I don't think the WWE shareholders got a bad deal. I mean, we've been pretty much following, not digging into the numbers constantly like financial advisors, but we were following what was happening with TKO and WWE stock price for a while.
Mhm.
and TKO paid a premium for WWE stock.
They did. They paid more than the market value of the stock. So that alone should be like, well, yeah. And
Yeah.
to think of how strong of a strategic partner they are now, TKO, with the way you have UFC, they've already got something already similar. They have all this money. And unfortunately, it's unfortunate for us because now it's $30 a month to watch the pay-per-views, but they do know how to get revenue and they do know how to and they got rid of Vince, and Triple H has changed things creatively, which people seem to have liked. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I have to say, it's hard to say that this was a bad idea. But I don't know how why would the shareholders be that mad at this point? Shouldn't they be happy with all the money they paid?
Depends on when some of these guys bought. If they bought at the
Sure.
top and we're expecting a little more than that,
Mhm.
you don't know.
Right. That's a good point.
It could also be lawyer driven. Class action suits are like that.
Hmm.
It's lawyers that drum up all the controversy. They get a few people to sign on for it. The lawyer fees are going to take up most of the settlement if there is one anyway.
Right.
So it could be the wonderful U.S. legal system at work.
Right.
But it's a news story, and it's the kind of thing that the WWE may have to deal with, especially if their current executives are being subpoenaed and deposed for it.
Hmm. Okay.
More this comes to us from WrestleNomics. WrestleNomics, they also have a lot of stuff over on the Substack platform. I found this there. I thought this would be a neat thing for us to talk about since it's been 3 years, in case we haven't mentioned it, since Don't Bury the Lead did our first live stream. It was September 30th of 2022. Back then we had maybe one subscriber. It may have been me. Since you were the channel owner, so I was the subscriber. I don't know. But since then, we've gotten lots more subscribers, and it's still open. Help us climb the next mountain wherever you're watching us on the live stream. Head on over to Don't Bury the Lead, a wrestling channel on YouTube, and subscribe there. To tell you how long it's been since we've been doing Don't Bury the Lead. It's only been 3 years, but we went from watching popular Fox broadcasts on Friday nights to now having everything on a cable channel or a streaming channel. And it's not as if they're getting greater ratings. Do you remember when you and I were first watching SmackDown? It was the height of the bloodline, and they
Yeah.
were pulling in 2.5 to 3 million viewers on some Friday nights on Fox. It is now,
Oh
the
yeah.
last Friday of September, 1,238,000 estimated viewers. Remember back when double that on Fox was considered not good enough?
Yeah.
That must have been 30 years ago. No, it was 3 years ago. In fact, it was less than that. It was 2024. Scrolling down here a bit. It was 2024 when Fox and SmackDown were still doing well over 2 million viewers. And then SmackDown moves from Fox to USA, and suddenly the Q4 average is below 1.5, from over 2 to below 1.5, and it hasn't recovered. I know these are good deals from a money standpoint, but I'm wondering what's going on with the viewers. I mean, fewer people are watching the TV channels. This may be an indication that TV just isn't as important as it used to be with social media platforms, WWE's channel on YouTube, on X, on Instagram, wherever else they're doing stuff, merchandise, live gates for some of the house shows and some of the SmackDowns and Raws also seems to be down.
Oh
But
wow. Really?
live gates for PLEs are enormous. So it really is a mixed bag, and it shows you in the 3 years we've been doing this how much the business of major U.S. pro wrestling has changed. It's no more broadcast. It's all streaming services. They're doing lower viewership, but their PLEs are getting higher numbers. So it really is such a different landscape in simply the 3 years that you and I have been rapping about this stuff.
Interesting. Does he have the viewer numbers on Netflix too?
Let's see here.
if you scroll
They
down,
got some Raw moves to Netflix, and he's got the ... there. I think it's because they're not sure of total viewership. Netflix may not be able to give you that.
yeah, that might be
They're
it.
totally streaming. They're not covered by the same rating systems as USA, which does still broadcast over
Yeah.
cable would do. So Netflix might be a ... there. SmackDown is... it's still apparently number 2 across both cable and broadcast for the night in the 18 to 49 age range, which means it could be just a continuing trend of TV viewership just still declining.
Yeah, because I
But
can
it's
see
such a
a
changing landscape. A lot to dig in here. Find WrestleNomics either on their own site or WrestleNomics.substack.com. A lot of their stuff is paywalled on Substack. This is one of the ones that's free. It's from October 2nd. Brandon Thurston posted this over there.
shout out to Brandon Thurston doing a crazy amount of work for no for just to make this, right? I mean, I'm saying for no money, but it's likely not too much money.
I think WrestleNomics does a good... they pull in ads on their own website
Yeah.
and
Okay.
sponsorship. They probably get ad sharing on their X account. It seems to be pretty popular. And if a lot of their stuff is paywalled, I bet they have enough subscribers.
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
Meltzer cracked that nut 40 years ago.
That's true.
You know, if you put out enough stuff that seems reputable, people will pay for it.
Yeah.
Even if you got to snail mail it to them.
And even if it's complete BS, it seems very tangible. It seems like it's good, right? It seems about right.
Oh, let's go easy on Dave Meltzer there. We are not Dave Meltzer.
We are not Dave Meltzer. I love Dave Meltzer. I'm not gonna bury him like every other YouTube channel. They hate him.
One of the things to know, this is the Q3 average estimated tickets distributed. It had gone up from 2023 to 2024, but it's dropped in 2025 to where it's even below the 2023 numbers. So some of the live gates for SmackDowns, they're not filling the arenas like they
Interesting.
used to.
Hmm.
So the wrestling landscape is changing, and maybe we're fooled by the enormous long-term contracts that WWE is signing with big-time streamers.
Yeah. That's interesting because I went to a show and it was $179 for a SmackDown last year.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, maybe it's cooled off a little bit. I know that the SummerSlam, their tickets were so cheap in North Jersey for that show where they did 2 nights of SummerSlam. Tickets
Okay.
were very cheap in that stadium to get in. And I mean, it's a huge market, right? You're in between
Yes.
New York and Philly, and New Jersey's a very populated state. So,
And they're close to Connecticut. I mean, it's their home base.
yeah.
They've always been a Northeast-based promotion.
Yeah. So, I know they struggled to get, and I didn't look at the seats too. I looked at the prices and I said, damn, they're cheap. But, and they were available too. But, yeah, anyways, that's interesting stuff.
Moving on off of the wrestling finance stuff. Always fun to see wrestlers from different promotions and from the indies getting together from shows. Something called 52 West, The Hard Way. Darby Allin is involved in this. It's an art and wrestling promotion that's taking place over the course of 2 weeks, including wrestling on a couple of Friday nights. Darby Allin is involved in this from AEW. So is Stephen Borden, making what is technically his in-ring debut was at his father Sting's last match when he got involved as one of the Stings from a past iteration of the character, along with his brother Garrett as well. Stephen Borden is there. Other people you may recognize like Killer Cross, most recently Karrion Kross in the WWE. So there's music, wrestling. In a way, it sounds like NJCW, but they've got more stuff going on and art as well. Night 1 already passed on October 3rd. Night 2 has a standing room only ticket still available. That's for October 10th. 52 Walker and Awesome Championship Wrestling are pleased to announce 52W Hardway, the gallery's 16th and a half exhibition, features drawings by Raymond Pettibone related to his lifelong interest in professional wrestling. So this is really kind of a cool art show that's almost a wrestling convention, but it's also a live wrestling event.
Yeah, that's neat.
I just thought it was interesting because of the array of people involved in it. You've got current AEW guys, along with up and comers, along with one of the hottest indies out there in Killer Cross.
Mm-hmm.
So real neat stuff going on here. Do you recognize any of the other names here? Like Sid Ellington, Kieran Gray, Timothy Thatcher. The first three rang a bell for me, obviously. Darby Allin, Killer Cross, and I knew Stephen Borden as Sting's son.
Yeah, we had a short pop off about him.
Yes,
like a year ago. I did not know. I feel like Timothy Thatcher sounds familiar, and I might not know who he is, but I don't.
Yeah, so it's an interesting idea, and in a way, it takes me back to the NJCW days, where we'd have live music for the wrestler entrances, and the band would perform a little during the intermission, the halftime, and there was art for sale, like posters and trading cards, and sometimes other stuff. So I just thought this was interesting for the people involved in it and for the kind of venue and event that it was. So
I think it's a good idea. I
Right?
think it's like a good idea to have music and have a big event rather than just focus on just wrestling.
Yep. Yeah, it's almost like a convention, but with live action stuff going on, not just people, standing in line for a table for an autograph.
Right.
Cool stuff going on. And the artist, apparently he's been doing drawings related to his lifelong interest in professional wrestling. That could be some cool stuff. I remember there've been some really cool artists who've done sports figures, like baseball players. That was big in the New York metro area for a while, and I'm forgetting the artist's name, but some of this stuff is really cool. It becomes vintage, and it's the kind of stuff in the age of mass production where if you could score an original drawing of something, it's kind of more of a prestige factor and a nostalgia thing. It makes it more special.
Yeah.
So good stuff there. All best to everybody involved in 52W Hardway, the art show and wrestling show combination there. Up next, let's stick with AEW and some other indie stuff going on. This is from WrestleZone. This is Mercedes Moné. She's put out an open challenge there for, I don't know which one of her belts. She has several of them. She's the belt collector. But one of the people who've been rumored to be answering it, and this comes from social media, is, you may remember, current indie darling, former WWE wrestler, Shotzi Blackheart.
Wow.
She reacted to the post on X where she called out to any local Floridians who want to wrestle her next week. And apparently Shotzi put up the I'm watching this, and Mercedes Moné responded with the O and the wink and the smirk. And people have been saying, yes, wrestle her. There have also been a fan demand that Kelly Kelly make her AEW debut and get revenge against Mercedes Moné for what apparently was a Sasha Banks elimination of Kelly Kelly during a women's Royal Rumble. So Mercedes Moné, no matter how much success she gathers around the world, and no matter how great her current run in AEW has been, and you could speak to that more than I can, there are still people who remember her facing WWE stars.
Yeah.
And who want that to happen. And since they're technically not in WWE anymore, I mean, could Kelly Kelly go to AEW? Could Shotzi Blackheart show up in AEW? It looks like it could happen.
Kelly Kelly, I am, I don't really know too much about her, and I'm not like necessarily, it seemed like they brought her in as a veteran. Shotzi feels like a person that was pretty good and they released. Like, I liked Shotzi, again, say what you will, but she was different. She looked a lot different than everybody else. And, she was charismatic, very charismatic, quite frankly.
Yep.
And I was a little shocked when they released her. So I'd actually like to see Shotzi there. And the thing with the women's division in WWE is it's absolutely stacked. So she could contribute in AEW, right?
Mhm.
Because she was at least pretty good in WWE, which would
Yes.
mean she could be one of the top women in AEW. Like that's where I'm saying like WWE is just so much superior as the women's division.
Currently, the Raw women's division is stacked. The SmackDown women's division, we're wondering what's going on with Tiffany Stratton and why Julia hasn't been in a program yet since winning the belt.
Mm-hmm. That's a great point.
I
Go
think WWE on SmackDown could use someone like Shotzi in the mid card level going after Julia and giving her a chance to show stuff.
Even Chelsea Green, just make her wrestle normal and get
Right?
wins.
She is a good athlete.
Just, I mean, they gave her the push with the U.S. title. Like, keep giving her that push, and then have somebody else job out. She doesn't have to job out. She shouldn't really be jobbed out.
Let's see if this will play here. This is
Oh,
that's the elimination of Kelly Kelly during the Royal Rumble that people were saying, hey, maybe Kelly should go there and get some revenge.
brutal.
So very good there. How has Mercedes Moné been in AEW? Are they running out of people to have her wrestle? Is that why they need to do this open challenge?
So she lost to Toni Storm, but she hasn't lost since then.
Okay.
She only has.
That was a great match, by the way. You pointed me to that one.
Yeah. So she has had that belt forever, and she's had a series of a hilarious amount of belts, like from who knows what indies she went to like wrestle and beat like what NJCW belt she went and got. But she has all these random belts from Japan and stuff like that where she's won. And ultimately, at the end of the day, you know, that's one of her gimmicks, and she has so many of them. But she also has their TBS title.
Okay.
So the TBS title, which is like TBS, the station they're on. She has
no truth to the rumor that most of her belts happened because she ambushed Conrad Thompson and raided his closet.
It might be something like that. She beat up big.
We
old
love
Conrad.
you, Conrad Thompson. You do good work over there at ad-free shows. I used to love watching you with Eric Bischoff. Just thought it was funny since he is a big memorabilia collector.
No, I know he does have all those belts. I watch his JR show.
There
he
you
does
go.
A show with JR. That's really
Grilling
good.
with JR. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, excellent stuff there. Over to Wrestling Inc. We covered this a little bit. We were wondering what was up with Andrade and whether some of his tiffs online with AEW talent were anything that was going to be built into a storyline. Well, he was in an online fight with MJF, but it wasn't MJF who he went after. He went after Kenny Omega, didn't he, at the AEW Dynamite anniversary show? Wrestling Inc. here was reporting it. What say you? Did you see this? Were you happy to see Andrade El Idolo back in AEW? And was this a good use of his comeback?
Yeah, he looks good. He he changed his look a little bit. Honest to God, he like put highlights in his hair. He looks like Seth Rollins. Like I thought it was Seth Rollins at first. He kind of just stole his gimmick. And then he looks like real fit and ready to go. And I'm glad that the MJF thing wasn't them just complaining at each other for no reason. If there was a storyline thing behind it. What did you think of Andrade in WWE?
I thought he was a good mid-carder. He struggled as a promo, as a lot of them do if they're not native English speakers. I thought he was getting a good run with Rey Fenix as a tag team, and I was okay with them getting the tag belts. And then suddenly Andrade disappeared. We found out it may have been related to the wellness program violations. And then, they're trying to find something to do with Rey Fenix. I thought that caught a lot of people by surprise. I thought Andrade, you talk about people who have a ring presence.
Yeah.
Andrade has a little of that. He does the thing where he'll, as he's setting up a big move, waiting for his opponent to get in position, he will look around to the crowd and try to, slap his thighs to get them rhythmically into it, maybe clapping along. So he he understands being in the ring and that you're in front of a live crowd and not just, going through the motions.
And so many Mexican wrestlers just dive all the time, and he wasn't a divey guy all the time. He had
No,
moves, He's
he
more of a
was good. He
powerhouse.
was a bigger luchador who could do some power moves. He has aligned himself with the Don Callis family, leaving the ring with Callis by his side after shaking his hand, which is great because it means that Andrade doesn't have to cut promos. He can still work on his English and get to that point. I mean, this is what he didn't have in WWE,
Right.
right? So maybe Tony Khan is saying, "All right, we know what to do with you. Don
They
Callis will talk for you like he's done for Takeshita, like he's done with anybody else who's needed it."
Takeshi is interesting because he can't speak English, so he has him do the promos. And
He's another guy with ring presence, though.
yeah. The thing is with Andrade, and which kind of weird with WWE, kind of a side rant. They don't have a lot of managers.
No,
They
it's
only
Paul
it's
Heyman.
only Paul Heyman, and it works so well. You would think that they would be like, you know what? Why don't we get a couple more managers in here? Just this
Yeah, it
Paul
looks like
Heyman
they're
guy.
trying to do that with Kiana James.
Yeah,
And she's in a good spot because I'm not Julia's Japanese, so I'm not sure how good of a promo she is for the English speaking audience. So they're doing it with Kiana James, but all the other managers are basically just women valets.
they're valets. They're not. Yeah, they're not managers.
Yeah, you start to wonder why they're out there until you realize, oh, the team on the other side has a women valet too. So eventually they're going to fight.
Right.
So this is getting a thumbs up from you. Andrade finding work very quickly in AEW and how they've handled bringing him in.
I think it's cool that they can go back and forth between their companies. And so he left. He won a match. I think they let him win when he left. So he didn't even job out. He won and then left. And I think
which lends more credence to the idea that it was for a wellness policy violation. Like it caught people by
No,
surprise.
I mean AEW.
Oh, AEW when he left.
Yeah, they got a win and left. And I think the more that came out, the more it was like he wanted to go be with his wife, which makes sense. They let him go be with his wife, and then they got divorced. So
Well, now that's not a problem anymore.
he's like, AEW, actually, I'll come back. It's like, all right, come on back.
There you go.
He left on
I
good
got
terms,
99 problems, but
a blank
the marriage to a fellow wrestler in a different company ain't one.
Right.
All right. Speaking of AEW storylines, I heard that Adam Copeland, they had to put a storyline in where he's going to be out for a while. And it looks like it's because he's getting another movie deal from Variety. Pam Clementieff and Adam Copeland are joining Miramax's The Beekeeper 2. Adam Copeland has had other roles in Percy Jackson and the Olympians. This is apparently a very well cast project here. Jason Statham is starring in it. It's got other people behind it. They went down to some of Adam Copeland's resume here, parlayed a successful 30-year pro wrestling career into acting. Copeland's filmography includes roles on Vikings and Haven, and he most recently starred as Ares in the hit Disney Plus series Percy Jackson and the Olympian. The performance earned him a nomination at the Children's and Family Emmys, unlike some wrestlers who make children cry. So good for you, Adam Copeland.
The movies that John Cena makes will not win awards anywhere. Let's put it like that. They are like, he is always cast as an outrageous comedy gimmick. Like outrageous. Okay. Yeah, like he's as goofy as possible and as dumb as possible. Like you could tell he's really he really pulls it off, but it's like it's very self-deprecating, which is funny because he's an amazing pro wrestling champ and a hero to so many kids, and then like you see him in a movie and he's like he's a complete goof.
You know, there's a place for that in the Hollywood acting biome ecosystem as well. So
Big time.
Adam Copeland seems like, have you seen the Disney Plus series on Percy Jackson and the Olympians?
No, I don't know
I have
any of
not
this.
either. I
Sorry.
have not seen his work in any of these films. He seems like he could be that kind of guy, though.
Yeah.
He has also recovered from doing that silly elbow off the top of the cage, right? He looked like he was
No,
had his mobility back when he was doing his run in AEW recently.
he's healthy from that. I'm kind of surprised because he's been featured kind of prominently. I didn't know that he has to take time off now. That kind of stinks.
Yeah, I mean, Cody Rhodes had to do it as well. Every now and then they got to do an injury angle to give a
Oh,
guy.
if it's like Cody Rhodes, he wasn't gone too long. Maybe he won't be gone too. I mean, if he's in the full movie, though, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, if it takes 5 weeks of shooting, it takes 5 weeks of shooting.
Yeah, that won't be too bad then.
You know, if it takes a little longer, Roman Reigns is back now. So whatever project he was shooting, they had Bronson Reed splash the crap out of him from the top turnbuckle several times at Clash in Paris or whatever.
Yeah.
And so Roman got several weeks off to do something, and he's back on Raw now. So you never know. Let's see here. One more from The Takeout, which I think is food related. And hey, it's something food related. Could this former WWE star be the next Guy Fieri? Okay. It's about Braun Strowman's new show, which is something about everything on the menu with Braun Strowman. So they're seeing that this is in the mold of Guy Fieri's Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, which was popular almost 20 years ago. And then Adam Richman did Man versus Food, which they called this genre the latest show in the guys on cool road trips eating dude food.
Yeah, it's about right.
It seems like Braun Strowman could slide right into that genre.
Yeah.
He has the CV for that. And he says he's semi-retired from wrestling. He had a role recently in the comedy horror movie Deathgasm 2 Gormageddon, which is the perfect setup for him going around the country to restaurants and ordering one of everything while he and his 350-pound frame try to polish off all that food. The first episode will air on October 24th, right after WWE's Friday Night Smackdown, also on USA Network.
I
He's
saw
scoping out cool restaurants ranging from hot cuisine to hot dog stands. So far, he's set to visit Fort Worth, Washington, D.C., Orlando, Las Vegas, Chicago, Milwaukee, New Orleans, and Tampa. No Philadelphia?
robbed.
Order one of every cheesesteak, you bum.
I did notice that I did notice during the commercial that he seemed so much different than his normal character, which is weird. He's
Okay.
just being himself, not Braun Strowman. Rah,
Yeah.
So it was
He
so
probably
weird.
can't walk into these restaurants growling at people at his size.
Yeah.
He'll get tased.
It did look kind of interesting. I just see, we talked about this earlier, but the cable TV thing is so dead. So I'm not so if this was on YouTube for free, I'd say this might have a better shot than on cable TV. Seriously.
Logan Paul has built an empire on that model.
Right. Exactly.
Just like the show title says, he plans to eat everything on the menu at the restaurants he visits. Seriously, everything? Strowman claims he can do it. As he says in the trailer, I didn't get 350 pounds by accident.
Yeah.
He'll also visit the kitchens and talk to people doing the cooking. He's going to make small talk. Isn't that nice? At the conclusion of each episode, Strowman will pick a favorite dish he's eaten in the featured city. It isn't the first pro wrestling food crossover. Okay, longtime wrestling fans, tell me if you ever heard of this. Randy Savage, the former famed Slim Jim pitchman, was set to star in a 1999 cooking show called Wrestling Up Some Grub, along with fellow wrestlers Paul Big Show Wright, Brian Knobbs, one half of the Nasty Boys tag team, and Robert Miller and Brian Wicken, aka Bushwhackers Butch and Luke. Table for 500, please. Had you heard about this show that was filmed? 4 episodes were filmed, but sadly, neither WWE, back then WWF, nor the Food Network agreed to air the show.
Interesting. They should release that at least, right? If there's
The
4 episodes.
where are those 4 episodes? Now that you're on every streaming platform and you need content, where are the 4 episodes of Wrestling Up Some Grub?
That's definitely, that sounds like Vince made this up and was doing it.
Right.
This is kind of interesting. I wanted to get the fixer involved here. We were just talking about the Edge. People are saying Edge will be John Cena's final match. That would be something.
John Cena has also already done a tribute to Edge during one of his matches. I think it was during the Sami Zayn match on SmackDown, where he did the Edge mannerisms in the corner and then speared Sami.
Oh.
He's done other stuff like he did the Styles Clash.
Yes.
But that turned into a match with AJ Styles. However, AJ Styles currently signed to WWE and on his own sort of retirement tour. So that makes sense. Adam Copeland, I have no idea what WWE would have to trade to AEW to, have Adam Copeland come over for Saturday night's main event on December, whatever date that's going to be.
It'd have to be back and forth where they could do something friendly, but they're so cutthroat at this point because WWE keeps running shows against AEW that it's lame. It's a loss for the fan. So because it would be cool if you could be like, yo, borrow Adam Copeland for John Cena's retirement tour, and John Cena does one show on AEW. That would be like the coolest thing ever.
Oh wow! The last time I remember something that's like this happening was when TNA was the number 2 wrestling promotion in the U.S. Ric Flair was signed to them, but WWE wanted him to appear. I think it was when the 4 Horsemen went into the WWE Hall of Fame. So as a trade, they sent back Christian Cage for an appearance at TNA, where Christian Cage had a great run as an Impact. He was Impact World Champion for a while. It was where he went when he got frustrated. Some of it may have been wellness policy related, as a lot of the things were like with Kurt Angle. But he was frustrated over not getting an opportunity really at a singles run in WWE. Went to Impact, was a really good singles wrestler there. I remember that era. And so when he went back to WWE, he went back with, his time at Impact had built him up. And so people in TNA, though, still remembered him. So that was the trade they worked out. That's the last time I remember rival promotions making a trade. This is obviously years before TNA and WWE have their current arrangement with talent going on. So I don't know if that would happen again, but there is precedent. There is precedent. I'm not sure. Like, who from the WWE roster would be a fair trade for the player to be named later? And under what circumstances? Tell us in the chat. Tell us in the comment. If Adam Copeland is making a one-off appearance in WWE for John Cena's retirement tour, who would have to be the trade from WWE going to AEW? Cody Rhodes is probably too big of an ass to go back for a one-off.
Kevin Owens?
Was he ever in AEW?
No.
He's hurt.
He is hurt. He's friendly with the Young Bucks, though. He is. And Adam Cole. They did a promo where they said that he was the Universal Champion. They all came up together in the Indies together.
Yes. Let's see. Who would be a fair person that AEW fans would recognize who's currently on the WWE roster? I don't know. I mean, Penta and Rey Fenix left under not so good circumstances. There were injury concerns and cries of people like slow playing or quiet quitting or whatever it was. I don't think those guys left on very good terms. So that'd be a neat question to see who would go over from WWE to AEW. Tell us in the comments, tell us in the live chat, who do you think would be a fair trade if Adam Copeland went over for a one-off? I don't know. That's a good one to brainstorm. And it would have to be someone who'd get in the ring and wrestle for some sort of, I don't know.
All right.
Like, would it be Bayley going over to wrestle Mercedes Moné?
Oh, that might be too close to home for them. Because they don't want, because Bayley feels like she's going to leave and go to AEW. So
I don't know. They're starting a new angle with her where she's doing kind of the three faces of Foley gimmick over on Raw.
Okay.
Where she's like she's mentally imbalanced.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, that would be a good trade for AEW. I don't know.
Tell us if you've got one better than that. And would AEW say yes to that? For the chance of having a Bayley Mercedes Moné wrestling match, which, hey, maybe that plays into what they're currently doing with this open challenge that Mercedes Moné's going on. If they're negotiating right now, is that a fair trade? Adam Copeland does a one-off for John Cena's retirement tour at Saturday night's main event. Bayley shows up at an AEW premium live event or a big-time Dynamite show and wrestles Mercedes Moné.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
It's unseasonably warm, which it is this time of year. The 80-degree plus temperatures have returned here in October to southern New Jersey. It is unseasonably warm. It is pathologically frugal. John, what are we, or at least what am I?
This is cheap heat. All right. And we'll head on over to the Italian goodbye. Folks, the Italian goodbye is when we end the show. It's officially over. We're going to hit the end stream now, right? Nope, we're not going to end the stream. We're going to ramble on here for a while. So if you're new to here,
because there's some leftovers, you have to take some leftovers home. Let me make you a plate.
Let me make you a plate.
Let me make you a plate. Come back in. Let's chat for a little longer. I'll make you a plate. Do you want some of this? You have to take some of this.
This is my new recipe. This is what I did to it. Blah, 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 blah. And it begins. The Italian goodbye.
There you go. I was serving dinner at a charity function tonight, me and a lot of other guys from my local church. And at the end of it, there were a lot of food to take home. We gave plenty to the college students who were there in attendance, who were still on their fall retreat there. But yes, there was a make a plate. You got to make a plate and take some home. You got to do the takeout containers, and we're doing that. And yeah, there you go. So
I'll tell you what, that's good eats for a college student because usually they're eating like crap, right? So just to get a warm meal.
Oh yeah.
Nice. What were you guys making?
Well, we decided to go with various pastas, including a gluten-free tray of pasta, because some people aren't into the gluten. We had vegetarian options as well, but many different kinds of pastas. So there was the gluten-free pasta with the tomato sauce. There was a plain spaghetti with a tomato sauce. There was a spaghetti with ground beef in it. There was a tortellini with peas and chicken that got donated. We cooked up some extra spaghetti with a chicken Alfredo sauce while we were there. A couple of people donated trays of ziti. The deacon from the church got a local restaurant to donate a pan of rigatoni vodka sauce and some other stuff. So we had plenty of food for the 45 or so attendees who were down there for dinner. And the significant other of one of our council members does sort of a side business, a side hustle doing catered desserts. and she made a ton of fantastic desserts.
Mm.
Salted caramel bars, different kinds of brownies, cupcakes, big old chocolate chip cookies, a banana pudding with these playing card wafers on top, made with real bananas. So I insist that's health food. I had a big old serving of it. I said, "This is health food." And they're like, "No, it's not health food just because it's bananas." I said, "No, I feel healthier already. This is great.
I feel healthier, right?
I feel healthier already. It's fast working health food." It's like people are saying, "Would you like to take some salad home?" Salad? No, not salad. Banana pudding. That's what you got. That's health food. Salad's not healthy.
So tonight I went to the Pittman Porch Fest.
Fest.
I watched the Brownies play.
All right, very good. What time were they on? Were they like a mid-afternoon for you?
They were on at 6, and the Phillies game was at 6:37. So they ended at 6:30, and then I hopped in the car and listened to it on the radio.
There you go, and made it home for the rest of the televised game. And for Don't Bury the Lead, we are beginning year 4 of live streaming our wrestling recaps and other assorted content here on YouTube. September 30th will always be our anniversary day. It's October 4th. We are 5 days technically, into year 4. This is it. 4. Woo!
Woo! I know. I can't woo that loud, or I would. Yeah, I saw the Brownies. They did a good set. I took some video, so that'll be on Don't Bury the Lead.
Hey, there
Hopefully
we
at
go.
some point.
Former NJCW stars, part of this music group here in southern New Jersey, known as the Brownies.
Yeah.
You were not able to stay for the Texas Legs, though. Which has even more NJCWs.
Actually, I think it's only 2. It's Steve and Ron was doing the upright was doing the bass. There was a drummer.
For the Brownies?
Yeah, there was a drummer
Okay.
I didn't know, and Allison did the vocals, and that was it.
Okay, the Texas Legs also have Fran in it, Fran Carrazzo.
Yeah, Fran. Yeah, so Fran's additional.
And don't tell anybody, but Steve and Fran were the biggest rivalry in NJCW.
Right. That without question. It's so funny looking through the book and seeing how many times they wrestled, like ad nauseum, like every time, like Steve versus Fran versus Steve, and it was never. Fran was always heel, right?
Yes,
So
and except for the brief heel run by Steve,
when they couldn't wrestle each other anymore because they were both
now they're both heels. They're just kind of peacefully coexisting for a little while. Yes, lots of great rivalries in NJCW, but the Pine Baron William Leeds versus Steve Farley is the one that spanned the generations of NJCW.
I have a random comment from the Fixer. Maybe you can take this.
Well, we talked about this in Cheap Heat, about how Karrion Kross was released even though he was popular. And he's now in the indie circuit as Killer Kross again, doing his Killer Kross gimmick. Not re-signing Karrion Kross was a mistake. You will not get an argument from me, Fixer. I thought he was doing some good work, and he was organically over with the crowd. It was LA Knight level stuff almost. It was Sami Zayn level stuff. We're heading into Elimination Chamber in 2023. There was talk like, will they have Sami Zayn beat Roman Reigns? Because he is just so organically over. Yeah, Karrion Kross was trending in that direction. Yeah, I'm with you. Friend of the show, Nick Teodoro of the Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour. Check out their channel on YouTube as well. They have an interview they did, I think it goes about 20 minutes or so, with Kevin Kazar, who is Killer Kross on the indies before and after his run as Karrion Kross in WWE. They had a good interview with him. Check that out. Nick and Nicole both got some questions in there. Yeah, Kevin Kazar does great work. He understands the business. He's apparently doing well on the indies. he had a big confrontation with Matt Cardona, who also knows a thing or two about succeeding on the indies. And he was part of that 52W Hardway wrestling, art, and music 2-week program that's going on currently still. Right in the middle of it now around October 4th. Yeah. I'm with you, Fixer. I'm with you. No argument there.
All right. Anything else? What do you want to do for the show, Dom? For the Perth show?
The Perth show is airing live like early in the morning for us. It's like 5 or 6 a.m. Eastern daylight time here in southern New Jersey. So now my Saturday afternoons are getting booked up starting this coming Saturday, where I got to be out of here by like 2-ish.
I wonder if it makes sense to do like a Friday night preview show instead of the recap, because it's so hard for us to even watch the show in general now because of the stupid app.
But with the show being at a weird hour anyway, where we probably wouldn't have live streamed at like 11 in the morning anyway. Do you want to see if we can catch the Perth show on a replay and then do Crown Jewel Monday evening?
Yeah, we could try one of the evenings.
Like Monday evening during Raw? That would be the 13th. That's Columbus Day. You're off. Are you off?
I don't think I'm off for that.
Okay.
I'll have to double check. Let me see if I could do that. Monday sometimes can be tough for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let me double check and see what my schedule's like. But yeah, let's do the recap. We'll watch it in the morning, and then we'll watch it the replay of it, and then we'll
I don't see myself getting up early to catch it live from Perth.
No. Well,
if I were on the West Coast, it'd be tempting to just stay up all night, since it's a 2 a.m. start. They were saying like the pre-show at 2 a.m. In Pacific time zone here in the U.S.
It's weird. It's called Crown Jewel still.
Yeah, and it's in Perth.
In Perth, I was like, I thought they would just change the name because it's like Crown Jewel. Isn't that for like the Saudi crown?
What is there, some royal family in Western Australia? What's going on?
There is a royal family. Is there some crazy, prince that runs the company or the country, and it always gets handed down to someone
out of Perth,
genetically?
Out of like the third or fourth largest city in the country. That's like isolated from the rest of the stuff on the eastern part of the island.
Oh, the Fixer says Crown Jewel will be really late for me.
Oh, yeah.
Because that'll be, I don't even know the math, but.
Well, let's see here. You're 5 hours earlier than us here. So it's probably close to noon for you. Right? How far behind Australia are you there, Fixer?
It's a 12-hour difference between Australia and the UK.
Really? Okay. So I wonder if it's going to be like an afternoon show I don't know. They're going to have to do something to make it amenable for the live crowd in Perth. And then just, let it go live when it goes live and let everybody catch it on replays.
Also, Fixer, are you an early bird? Because that's why you catch our shows.
Or are you still up late from the night before?
Wow. I'm curious about that, actually.
Tell us in the chat, tell us in the comments, when you tune in to Don't Bury the Lead, what time is it in your little corner of the world?
Speaking of time, I am hitting a wall here. So
you're hitting a wall.
Yeah, this is like
remember to get your hand up, not like Jade Cargill. You don't want to get a busted open eyebrow there.
Oh boy, that's the SmackDown I missed. Why didn't I watch that?
Yes. Why didn't you watch the botch fest to the triple threat match?
Oh, he works on East Coast U.S. time.
Oh, okay. So this is still kind of late for you because this is late for East Coast
Yeah,
U.S.
it's
time.
midnight.
This
So.
is around. I mean, right now it's 11, almost midnight. See, I live East Coast, but I'm used to working either second shift or working on Pacific time zone.
Oh, miss 10 to 5 in the morning right now.
Okay. There you go. Yeah, so you're 5 hours ahead of us. Very good. We're almost midnight, so you're almost 5 a.m.
All right, Dom, speaking of lateness, I am tired, so I'm going to call the show.
There you
Thank
go.
you so much for joining, everyone. Thank you so much, Fixer. We had a lot of good chats from the Fixer. We had a pretty good draw, actually, with people in the mid to late part of the show. There's like 5,
Very
6
good.
people on, so I think maybe doing the late show is always helpful. Dom,
This is when we'll
thank
likely do it after John Cena's final match at Saturday Night's Main Event, so get used to this.
yeah,
8 to
Dom,
10-ish on the East Coast. We'll live stream right after it.
yeah, and then Dom, thanks so much for joining. A pleasure as always. Congratulations to us for 3 years. It's been a lot of fun, man. I'm so glad you hung in and did it with me. It's such a weird thing to do and ask someone, so I really appreciate that.
I'm glad you asked and that you have stuck with it also and made the channel so much better with your edited videos, the shorts, your ideas for some of the video essays.
The
You
thumbnails.
the thumbnails, you have not sat on your laurels here.
No,
You wanted this channel to be something, and by golly, we've hit figure 4. We've got over 1,000 subscribers at YouTube. If you still haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Are you waiting for us to beg? Well, we're doing it. We're begging. Subscribe to Don't Bury the Lead. We are in year 4. We're still climbing mountains. Woo!
that's a short, and that is a fantastic way to end the show. Thank you so much for joining. Have a great rest of your evening.